Welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine. In the previous collaboration, Showered with Love, I shared with you guys this beautiful floral box. Now I'm going to show you how I created it using existing lumber already in the garage. All I had to do was cut them to the measurements that I wanted for the box. These little wooden knobs, those were from Hobby Lobby, and I already had those in supply, as well as his hardware. The hardware is 6 inches long, so I had to make the box 8 inches wide. Like I stated earlier, I already had the lumber, but it wasn't cut to the length that I wanted. So once I cut one piece for the front, I just cut the back to match, and the same thing happened along the sides. I did decide to miter the edges of the wood, and listen, that was optional. This plywood was already cut, but it does measure 2 by 4, so the strips were pretty much already in a pile. Okay, so let's make the cut for the sides. It was a little cold in the garage, and my saw was running a little rough. The metal was cold, I was cold, but I just wanted to have some fun, especially with all the stress going on in the world. So this is really about 10:30 p.m. Now this board I already had, it was already cut. It was supposed to be a shelf for my office, and well, I'm going to use it for the box. It is not even at all along one of the sides. As a matter of fact, it's a little wavy. All right, you guys did not see this part because I didn't record it, but I applied construction adhesive glue along the edges of the boards before I taped them together. So I'm sorry I didn't show that. It was just a small amount, but there is construction glue applied. The plywood is fairly light, and with these small cuts, it's pretty easy to maneuver. And guys, the painter's tape is a bonus. I mean, look how well it's holding the boards in place while I staple them. I'm sure you noticed that gap between the bottom board and the side. Now remember, the board that I had to use for the bottom is a little curvy on one side. Well, I had a solution. I had some paint stirrers and I cut them into little tiny strips. They're about maybe 2 inches long. And I inserted those pieces into the gap. And then I stapled them there. Perfect, worked like a charm. Now this is how you add the holes for the hardware. Place a piece of painter's tape on the back of the hardware. Mark your holes. Remove the tape. Place it onto the object, the door, or in this case, the box. And then use your marked hole as your drill hole. That's it. Now one long strip of tape would have been better, but I've done this enough to be familiar with this process. A long strip of tape would have been better. Marked all of the holes at once and then place the strip of tape onto the box. My little stretchies are so handy. Yep, they're perfect for holding everything in place until the glue is dry. I want to wait about 24 hours and then we'll start painting. Now the screws that came with the hardware, they were definitely long and they were not designed for this, but I did go ahead and use them, and later on I might consider switching them out when things are normal. We're doing a little light sanding and wipe down all the extra dust, take it inside and prep it for painting. We're going to use white chalk paint. I'm not going to do a stain because I'm not sure if I want to leave this white or not for now. Do you recognize these things? If you don't, that means you haven't ordered a pizza lately. That's what keeps the top from caving in on your pizza. I have Ziploc bags of those, and they are perfect for painting small projects like this and lifting them off the surface. Even your canvases, I love these things. This is that Kiehl's white chalk paint that I purchase from Walmart all the time. I love this chalk paint. Now this is fine for now. If I was concerned about an accident or safety, I would just take some hot glue when it was cooling down and just spiral it over the tips so there wouldn't be any problems. No hardware applied to these little knobs. I'm using Gorilla Construction Glue. Publix is amazing at selling roses. Buy 1 dozen, get one free for only $10. So I got 4 dozen roses to do this arrangement. And also I have this 21 pack floral water kit, and it has tubes and a rack. So you get 21 tubes in this. It is a quick assembly, guys. You just snap everything together, and then you can just fill your tubes with water, with of course the little food that you want to put in there. I like to take a bowl and mix the water as well as the plant food together and then pour it into the tube. I love this. These little tubes come with a little plastic cap, and you can just pop it right on. It has a hole in the top, and you can insert your roses. Now, you don't have to put the cap on at all. I just prefer to do it that way. It helps me to keep up with the caps. This rack and the tubes are available in my Amazon store, the actual one that I purchased. There are other options, but I prefer this one. It's much more sturdier. This rack is a good option because I can mix faux and real plants together really easy, whether I use the tubes or not. And also when I'm mixing flowers, I can keep the types separated. This is perfect if you're going to use those filler flowers in between your beautiful flowers. Those are the ones that get the water all brown and smelly. The tubes are about 4.5 inches long, and my actual box height is 5 inches, and that was the reason why. Most of my supplies can be found in my Amazon store, so please check it out. I also set it up by color palette for your decorating convenience. I cut and recycled a few pieces of some old drawer liners. It's perfect, so when I'm carrying in the box, things are not sliding around. The roses are pretty big, so I decided to skip a space, leave a space in between. And that worked out just fine. As you can see here, they really will open up and fill out the space. And I can always fill in those gaps with a few pieces of faux greenery. Greenery had been used to make a Christmas wreath 2 years ago. Now, if you're wondering how much this box would cost from one of your high-end floral houses, it would be around $600. $600. Well, I had the roses to spare, so why not squeeze in a few more along the edge of the rack? This is absolutely stunning. Now, this was a part of the collaboration that I did earlier. We were planning our 8th wedding anniversary, and this is what I wanted the table to look like. Now, as you know, that was filmed about the 16th of January. So the roses have basically gone away. So I have some alternates in mind, and you'll see those in just a little bit. Now for this modern look, we're going to start out basically with basic faux greenery. I already had it, and some of it is pretty old, pieces from Hobby Lobby, and they come with this little towel plate on the bottom, and for some reason during an old project I took the towel piece off some of them, and so that's why it looks like that. This was not intended for this project to rip the towel pieces off, but look at how simple that is. Greenery, you'd see this kind of look in your restoration hardware, in those little cement bowls and stuff like that. Just plain old greenery. And I love how this turned out. Now to elevate the look, I'm using some succulents. already had these as well from Dollar Tree as time has gone by. I have made napkin rings with these things and succulent arrangements. And look at that pop of color. There you are. Another modern approach. And you see all of my faux greenery? When I listened to a professional interior designer on YouTube, and she is mega huge, she said, get rid of all of your faux plants. And like a nut, I was like, yeah, they are kind of shabby and kind of old fashioned. I got rid of plenty of them. But guess what? I kept my greens, and I'm glad I did. That is gorgeous, right? And keep in mind, the container is 26 inches long. It is 5 inches tall without the little knobs on the bottom, and it's 8 inches deep. Okay, last look. You gotta tell me what your favorite one is in the comments area. Now, just in case I can't get 4 dozen roses to do this beautiful tablescape like I want it to, hey, these faux greens will definitely get the job done. And a few Christmas decorations. You see here, I've taken the candlesticks off the table, placed them on top of the rack, got my pearls. Yep, added the chucks and pearls to the floral box, and it looks amazing. These white flowers here are Christmas decorations. Why not? Everything is still a little gloomy and wintry outside, so go ahead, add that pop of white with a little glitter to it. And also, guys, I carried the pearl theme onto the buffet table so that there's some consistency there. There's strands of pearls on the front and the back of the box, and there are also my favorite pair on the vase, the red vase on the buffet table. Now that flower that is lying on the table is just a broken flower that's just placed there, and it just ties everything together. I love it, the mixture of texture and color, and I'm having so much fun just even talking during this video. I don't know, maybe I just needed to talk to somebody. Have it the alternate for the tablescape. Chucks and pearls for my 8th wedding anniversary with the greatest husband in the world, if I may say so myself. And I hope you like this tablescape. Now, if you'll go back and look at the collaboration video, you'll be able to see a lot more details about how I put together this simple tablescape for our wedding anniversary, including the reason why the greeting cards are on the table. If you are not a subscriber, consider doing so today. And also press the bell, turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. I want to thank you so much for all of your comments and love. And yes, I am back. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, stay in prayer. For now, wear a mask and stay creative.